So I'll get started. Hi, my name is Jessica Grace Uson, and this is my senior capstone proposal presentation. And my topic is color psychology and UI UX design for children. Oh, there we go. Okay. So a little bit about myself. My name is Jessica Grace Uson. I obtained my AA degree at Leeward Community College, and then after that, I decided I wanted to do some more school. And I found out about the creative media program and I transferred to West Oahu. I graduated from Kapolei High School and my concentration for creative media is design and media. So for my executive summary, for my plans for my senior capstone project, I plan to create a web-based prototype focused on teaching social skills for children and using color psychology in my design. And then for my thesis statement, so my research examines how specific color choices and visual design influence a child's response. And then the next thing I'll go over is the objective and rationale of the research conducted. So I'll discuss the reasoning to researching color psychology and teaching social skills to children on a digital platform. And then lastly, I'll go over the importance of using color psychology as a tool to support kids' emotional and developmental needs. So my thesis statement is that color psychology and UI UX design can improve children's engagement, emotional well-being, and development of social skills on educational websites. And then for my objective for this topic is that I developed an interest in web design and color palettes while at West Oahu. So pretty much this project combines my passions and experiences in a meaningful way. So as a student with a strong interest in web design, I've consistently found joy in selecting and applying color palettes with intention and meaning in every project I've completed during my time at West Oahu. And then in parallel, the reason why I chose to specifically do this, do my website on kids or for children is because in parallel, I've spent over 10 years working with children and then gaining insights into how they learn, interact, and engage with their environment. And pretty much just recognizing the powerful influence of color on children's emotions and behavior. So I saw an opportunity to merge my creative skills with my experience in child development. So by designing a social skills learning website prototype, I want to tackle real world challenges that showcase my technical abilities and like reflect my commitment to creating meaningful, user-focused digital experiences for children. And then throughout this research, I researched case studies on design choices for children's websites, how psychology relates to their emotions, and then my aim is to bridge the gap between visual design theory and educational psychology by investigating how the intentional use of color in user interfaces can enhance positive user experiences and support social growth. And then the reason why I focused on teaching social skills for my website is because in COVID-19, it had negatively impacted the socio-emotional development. So for my senior capstone plans, my deliverable, I want to create a prototype that focuses on teaching social skills through interactive design. And my goals are to enhance emotional engagement and focus. So I want to design a visually like stimulating and emotionally supportive environment where when children use this website, they feel safe, calm, and motivated to learn by using color psychology to guide emotional tone. And then second goal is to support social emotional skill development. So I want to create an interactive platform that helps children learn, practice, and then have like those key social skills. Um, and then third is to promote accessibility and inclusivity. inclusivity. Um, so I want to ensure that the website is visually accessible and inclusive for like a diverse range of children. And then with the senior capstone plans, I still have to research a little bit more on the types of social skills that are important, and then figure out which specific social skills that I want to use for the website that are milestones for ages 6 to 10. So for the significance, using color psychology as a tool to create emotionally attuned learning environments for children by demonstrating how specific color schemes can influence mood, attention, and behavior. And then future implications, this can lead to the creation of more inclusive and supportive platforms that cater to children with diverse emotional needs, learning styles, and developmental stages. And then the second significance emphasizes how intentional UI UX design rooted in color theory can support social skills development. And then for future implications, as children increasingly engage with digital media for learning, this approach offers a blueprint for future educational technologies that promotes not just academic growth, but interpersonal development. And then this is some data that I found. So according to the National Center for Education Statistics, for user engagement, 72% of users report improved engagement with educational technology, and then 90% of users find color important in maintaining attention. And then according to the National Center for Education Statistics, again, this is the percentages of public schools reporting different impacts and needs based on the July 2022 NCES report. So 87% of schools reported that they had a negative impact on socio emotional development. And then 84% had a negative impact on behavioral development. Yeah. So for my target audience, I plan to, or my target audience are children aged 6 to 10. So those are usually the children who are in the key stages of the social emotional development stage. And then my secondary audience are parents and educators. So those are just in case they're like seeking tools for their kids to promote use of, or seeking tools that they want to use for their children that help promote healthy social skills. And then for my proposed solution, what is the intellectual significance to members of your discipline and or community? How does this solve the problem? So this project is focused on finding effective ways to teach social skills to kids in digital environments using color psychology. And how does this solve the problem? The growing need for effective digital platforms that help children develop essential social skills, especially in an age where screen time is increasing and in-person social interaction may be limited. So for preparation and process, for the pre-production is to research what specific social skills to teach, audience and user research, and design planning. And then production is to create the wireframes and UI UX layout using Figma, proto development, usability consideration, and feedback and testing. And then post production is just making the refinements and ensuring accessibility with the color contrast and font size. And then to like go more into specifics for like my timeline. So pretty much for week 1 to 2, I would do the research, figure out the social skills, and look at like existing existing children learning tools, and then creating mood boards. And then week 3 to 4 is more of the ideation and user flow. So mapping out like the user journey, and then sketching out the wireframes. And then week 5 to 6, I plan on using like characters for the children website. So I want to try to design 4 characters with traits. And then week 7 to 8 is the color palette, which includes like the style guide and typography um, and the icons. And then week 9 to 10 is pretty much like the high fidelity. And then week 11 to 12, the prototyping and testing. And then week 13 to 14 is the refinement and polishing, what needs to get done. So the deliverable, so I plan on creating it in Figma, and then making an interactive design for a children's educational website. That's just an example of the Figma prototype and how it'll look like. And then they'll have the key features, which is the color palette, guided by color psychology principles, and then child-friendly UI with large buttons, and then accessibility features. And then I'll have like a style guide, a visual branding, and interface elements used in the prototype. And it includes the color palette with psychological justifications for each hue, and then the typography selections, and then making sure that it accompanies to accessibility compliance. And yeah, thank you for your time. And thank you for listening to my presentation.